Okay, welcome to the K Show, where we dissect and understand the necessary elements to perform better in life. I can't stay. Okay, last week we talked about nutrition, and we want to go deeper this week. And for our second startright series, we want to talk about physical fitness. How actually you want to start your fitness goal right, goal setting, and also how to maintain the momentum when you have started working out. Today, I want to share a little bit with you guys how I started my fitness journey. I started fitness journey with group training with OBC, and with me today, I have someone who has helped me a lot in terms of starting out. Here with me is Faizal, CSCS, the head coach of Original Bootcamp, and also the strength and conditioning coach for Westport KL Dragons. And not only that, he's also the head of internal operations for Viper Challenge. I'll let Faizal introduce himself more.
All right, thank you very much, Fahmi, for having me in your show. Yes, as Fahmi stated just now, so I have a few responsibilities, so to speak. If you're wondering, CSCS is a certified strength and conditioning coach specialist. So it's a certification, a fitness certification, one of the highest standards in the industry by the National Strength and Conditioning Association of that's based in US. Yes, so I've known Fahmi from Original Bootcamp, which is an outdoor group fitness training program. We started way back in 2009, but Fahmi probably signed up for it in 2012?
I think 13.
2013,
yeah.
2013. So 2013, so when he signed up, of course, when he first started off, he wasn't that fit, but then he was very consistent, very committed to our program, and he had tremendous results. So his fitness levels was really good. I'm not sure about now, so I haven't seen him at our program for a while.
Restart.
Yeah, he's restarting, so that's good. But yeah, he had tremendous results with our program, and he's still a major part of our community. So that's a big thing about our program, the community itself. And from then on, he also started to join us for Viper Challenge. So Viper Challenge is basically an obstacle course racing event or running event.
I think I want to stop you there because I started Original Bootcamp because I wanted to join the Viper Challenge. You guys did
the first Viper back in 2013.
2013, and you guys did the I think I joined the fitness program that you guys did for Viper Challenge.
Oh,
I mean, that's
the Viper
where you
training.
Brought all the equipment and then nets. And then show
correct.
techniques on how to go for rope climbs. I think that was pretty interesting. And then that caught me a little bit into the community because the community itself is super
it's
encouraging.
Friendly, encouraging. Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's true. Like Fahmi stated just now, we had what we call Viper training sessions last time, where to show people the ropes, so to speak, about how to do an obstacle course running event properly. We brought out walls, we brought out ropes, we brought out some climbing structures to teach people balancing, to teach people how to do the obstacles right. And then quite a few people, including you, obviously, caught the bug and signed up for.
I mean, pretty much Viper Challenge, the pioneer in terms of our what do you call OCR at the time, because
in Malaysia.
Malaysia.
We started off the OCR scene in Malaysia back in 2013.
So today we are in our Start Right series. We want to talk about starting right in terms of physical fitness. Sometimes people don't really get why they can't continue their physical fitness. They find themselves lack of motivation. So I want to ask Faizal a little bit on finding their motivation and also setting goals to be able to continue or start. So Faizal, tell me how can people find their motivation and also set an achievable goal?
That's a very good question, Fahmi. Usually that's a big problem for most of us when we want to start out a fitness journey? Well, I can tell you a bit about my history, how I got into fitness. Actually, I was quite a large or obese kid, so I'm not like the one you are seeing at the moment, because I was during my childhood I was quite unhealthy. I ate a lot. I was very sedentary. Just basically go to school, come back home, eat a lot, sleep, and repeat the same pattern again and again. So as you can see, so yeah, it's not the best way to live your life. But as I go on my life, I had this. So it's basically a vicious cycle of when you are in that condition, you have a tendency to be sad or be depressed most of the time, because you know you're not the best physically. That will affect your mental health. I never gone into that deep dark hole of depression, full-on depression, fortunately. But what I realized was, if I continue on that sort of lifestyle, that's probably where I end up if I continue on. But fortunately, as I got into university, studying in University of Malaya, so which is right in the center of KL. When I was there, it was a change of environment, and I met a lot of new faces, new people that would be, well, they somewhat can influence me, and then because a drastic change of scenery from my home last time made me have access to being a bit more active in UM. So they also had a small hill that I always walk around every afternoon, and I was controlling my food intake quite well. I cut down my calories. So because of this, I had a tremendous change, becoming more positive, and that itself becoming, instead of a vicious cycle before, now I'm in a positive cycle. So because I have constant positive changes, superficially, like when you look in the mirror, you see yourself like shrinking.
It's more like a validation, right?
Validation. And then because of that, you will self-motivate yourself into doing more into it. So it's a positive cycle. So that's about it. If you want to talk about transforming your life, so you have to realize what was the problem, the real issues beforehand, and then you change up the scenery or the situation that you're in, the scenario. You can be in a positive cycle. So because of that, you can have a constant positive change instead of a negative one.
So I think from your story, I think that the people surrounding you also is actually one of the motivation that help you to break from the cycle itself. Yeah, correct.
Because even like currently in our bootcamp program, the social support is one of the most important criteria why the program works. So when Fahmi was in our program, he also can attest to that. Because of the social support, the friends, the people that always motivate each other, right? It can create a situation where you have there's a sense of accountability. So whenever you're at the session or whenever you're not at the session, is a sense of accountability where you have to always do your best. When you're outside of the session, you always have to stay active. Sometimes they ask each other for running, some running sessions or running events. So this sort of stuff, even though it might seem small in the beginning, but it all adds up. And because of this, you suddenly realize, wait a minute, you're in a completely different state of mind involving when you think about fitness. Before this, you might think working out is a chore, is something that you have to like sacrifice a lot of time or a lot of effort. But now you realize, wait a minute, it's becoming part of your life, a daily routine. Then you won't see any issue. In fact, you will see the opposite. If you don't do it, you feel restless, you feel fatigued. So,
okay, so we talk about finding motivation, and now I just want the viewers to know how actually you can set continuous goals, I think.
All right. So what they can do is, well, finding motivation is that is something that you have to look internally, because the biggest motivation that you can find is always an internal motivation. What you have to do some self-reflection, find out the issues that's stopping you from exercising, and then try to find solutions to that issue. You can also try to find, because external motivation is not the best way. It can work for some people. External motivation, I'm referring to, for example, monetary event, a special event, for example, like people always use a wedding or a party or a gathering that they have to go to, and then they have to fit in a certain dress size, for example. It's not the best, but it can work for some people. But the best kind of motivation is always internal. So something that, for example, like for me, I use myself as an example, because I was sick of being slow. I was sick of finding it hard doing things or searching for sizes at the store, buying clothes.
Plus size clothing.
Because during that time there wasn't any reject shop or the extra bigger size options. So I was using that as motivation, and I was basically, when I look at myself, I wasn't happy looking at myself in the mirror. So that's why that made me want to change. And because it kept playing in my mind, so that's why it's, maybe for some people it's not the best way when people say, oh, you have to be happy with yourself. That's still true. But when you look at the bigger picture, what is the kind of body, or what is the kind of image or
you want to portray?
You want to portray, or you want to be at. And that's the image, or that's the person or identity that you want to achieve. So, and I always want to be a fit person. Even though when I was the most unhealthy state in my life, I always had that dream that, hey, I want to be athletic, I want to play sport. So that's something that, not to say my dream, is something that I find it something that I want to aspire to be. So maybe that's also part of the motivation that made me change.
So that's your goal, is becoming someone who is better at a time.
Becoming, even when I was unfit, very unfit, if I can do normal things, whatever normal people will be doing, like play football in the afternoon, go for a jog, move well. So I never experienced that throughout my life. So
at that time.
So because of that, I want to feel what a normal person feels like day to day. So that's what made me change that internal motivation.
All right. That's something that's really personal. I mean, in terms of like motivation, Faizal has actually talked about intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation, which is like events, weddings, or even running events itself, right? Okay, there's a lot of options out there besides boot camp or group training outdoors. For example, soul cycling, maybe CrossFit or yoga. So how do people choose? Because there's a lot of options out there. For certain people, they have different goals, like for example, weight loss, or even gaining muscles, or building athletic strength. We just want to know what might be the best option out there, or is there anything else that they need to take into consideration?
All right. To answer you simply, it's very dependent on their goals and whether they enjoy the activity or not. Like just now, you were given an example of running. Some people that love running, they would do it like day to day. They can do it 4 to 5 times in a week. They don't mind doing it. But because it's a continuous activity, they find that they have no issues doing it, spending time to do it, and that's something that they enjoy doing it, so they can do it throughout their life. So that's something that you want. So that's sort of commitment, level of commitment. That's something that you want. Similar, but if someone that doesn't like running, you ask them to run. For example, you, a runner, would say to a person, "Hey, I had a lot of good results from running," but you telling a person that hates running, that person would probably just do 1 or 2 running sessions, and that's it. So as you can see, it's very dependent on their level of preference. But same thing also for if you look at from your goals. Let's say if you're planning on weight training, planning on building muscle, you would know, okay, lifting heavy stuff is the best way to get muscles. So if you tell a person that wants to build muscle, okay, let's go for running or endurance-based activities, that person won't get the results that they want, of course would fall off the bandwagon. So you have to look at that 2 aspects, whether they enjoy the activity and whether it's aligned with their goals.
All right. So I think it's more towards preference, and that makes you enjoy more of the activities actually.
Yeah, correct.
So I think for me it's sometimes due to convenience.
Yeah.
Let's say for example, Origin Bootcamp is in PJ and I was around the area at that time. So going to Origin Bootcamp wasn't that far, and then it's pretty easy to go, and then people was just like all the community was built around that area. Well, some people are just from Kajang, or that was crazy. But I think it actually shows, like even people from Kajang themselves
would drive
all the way down at 6 o'clock in the morning to do a group training with Origin Bootcamp. So that shows a level of commitment and the effectiveness of the community.
Because it's all related to that enjoyment factor. So for Fahmi, when he was with our program before, the timing, the convenience, and the social support that you had made the program enjoyable. So you don't mind continuing it again and again.
Okay, we're going to talk about a subject that is a little bit sensitive, which is the age of people when they started. So even though people say that age is just a number, but our physiology will be different. When we grow older, our recovery will be different, and we tend to get injured easily if we don't start right. So I just want to know, what should people actually look for if they start, for example, at 30 compared to people who started at 20 or 40?
All right. If you're experiencing or you are in that sort of scenario, what I suggest is for you to gradually go into exercising or doing a physical activity. So because how your body reacts to an activity is very dependent on what you did previously. So all those years of, for example, for an athlete, all those years being active, moving well, running, jumping, sprinting, made them athletic. So so whenever they join a fitness program, for example, or do a new physical activity, somehow they can be seen as, they're good at it. It's like a natural ability, right? But people don't realize it's because all those years of them being active, moving well, jumping, running, and all that. But for a sedentary person, if you've been sitting down, sleeping, lying down throughout your life, and then suddenly you want to do a physical activity, of course you cannot expect a certain level of mastery. So you must start from bottom and gradually work yourself up. So gradually meaning that you start slow, then if you feel that you are capable of more, then you can do more. But please don't do something that drastic change. For example, let's say you never did any running and then suddenly you sign up for a full marathon. So you're asking for trouble. It's either you cannot complete it,
Yeah.
or you be in pain for 7 hours of your life. So that's So
something that is very. But people actually do it because of the community itself.
yeah,
sometimes
people are because of peer pressure, peer influence, right? Friends are doing it, so might as well you do it. So you feel pressured to do the same things as what your friends are doing. But there are some good things that can come out of it, but there are also a lot of bad things that can come out of it.
I mean, the message itself is you need to have at the back of your mind that you need to start. I mean, you need to know your own level, and then try to take a step back and then see where you are at, and not be too much pressured by the others, I think.
Correct. So sometimes when you have someone else out there that can comment or give honest feedback about your level, your preparation for that event or that physical activity, that's also a good thing. But that person must be neutral, cannot be someone that's pessimistic or overly optimistic. So it has to be a neutral person that has good knowledge of that particular event or particular activity that you're planning to take.
I think it's great to have someone who, for example, in original bootcamp, that sees, okay, this guy has this level, so you're gonna do this kind of level of movements.
Correct.
And then what they call it as scaling up, scaling down, and people will say, okay, you do squats, but you do a scaled down version of squats. So this will help people not to get injured so fast. Or I don't want to say that, oh, okay, this guy gonna get injured. No, I just want to say that, okay, this is your level, and then you need to be able to understand that, okay, I need to train progressively instead of like, I must do it.
At our program, that's correct. We do practice a lot of progression or regression. That's why when at our program, if you join in, you would see multiple fitness levels. You see someone that's really fit, and you can see all the way to someone that's just beginning to exercise. Because at our sessions, we adjust the movements, we adjust the intensity, we adjust the difficulty based on their level. So if they're just starting off, they will do something easy. For example, probably not even a squat, probably a half squat, a hip hinge pattern, for example. While someone that's fit, they can do a jumping squat or more explosive version of an exercise. So those are the stuff that most coaches know this already, but how you program it into a more social approach to fitness, that's the uniqueness of our program.
I think also being outdoors is something that is really different. I mean,
being outdoors, fresh air, we work out on grass. So these are the kind of things that, especially nowadays in urban areas, you don't have much access to the outdoors or grass or things like that.
Mostly people are just cooped up in their room. And
air conditioning in the room, indoors all the time. So what we're trying to do is, fortunately KL is still cleaner than most major cities out there in the world. So we still have fresh air, not so much smog. So when you go outside, when you breathe, inhale deeply, you still can smell the fresh air, the freshness of the air.
I think one of the things also is good at, since it caters to all of different age levels, kids to people. I think we have people like
correct. We have a family. We have a family that's actually working out side by side. Like for they have three generations of that family. So they have the grandmother, the parent, and then the children. So or children or grandchildren. So three generations of the same family working out side by side together, and then we scale up or scale down the exercise based on their capability. That's very unique.
So I just want to ask like one just a simple personal question. So what is the best 100 ringgit or less item that you have invested in? Maybe something like a roller, or I don't know.
for me, it's not. Well, I won't say it's fitness related. It's
Okay,
not.
no, it's okay.
It's not directly fitness related. One of the best things that I invested was basically a digital clock.
Okay.
Because when I do, when I do stuff, I would want to know the exact time I spend doing that stuff,
Okay.
or reading, answering emails,
alright.
writing. So I would want to know how much time I'm spending, even on social media. Yeah. So it's actually a very good measuring time management tool, because as I stated just now, I have quite a few responsibilities, so my time sometimes can get a bit filled up quickly. So that is something that I find that, okay, because I know, okay, I need, for example, like 1 hour to do this, so I can allocate my time more efficiently.
Having said that, thank you so much for your time, because
Thank you very much.
I know it's very difficult to juggle between different careers. I mean,
Fortunately, yeah.
Original Bootcamp, KL Dragons, and then even Viper Challenge. So I think that pretty much wraps up how you're gonna start right in terms of your physical fitness. Maybe if I want to talk about the Original Bootcamp and how you can contact the Original Bootcamp.
All right. So Original Bootcamp is basically an outdoor group fitness training program. We operate in 3 locations, namely Dataran Petaling Jaya, which is right in front of MCOT Mall, Padang Merbok, which is right opposite Lake Gardens, and KLCC Park. So all 3 locations have their own schedule, so you can check them out at bootcamp.com.my. And if you have any questions about the program, you can just contact me at faizal@bootcamp.com.my to ask more about the program.
Maybe you guys can share a little bit about the Facebook page and Instagram handle?
Yeah, our Facebook page is, you can type in Original Bootcamp Malaysia. And then for our Instagram, IG handle is OBC Malaysia.
That's pretty much the time that we have. Don't forget to like K page at K Legrand, KEILEGRAND, on both Facebook and Instagram for more tips on fitness, health, life, and also productivity. And I'll see you next week.